the assistant coach for the Temple basketball team. Former Philadelphia 76er joins us right now. Coach McKie, what's happening?
What's happening, Zach?
Great to see you. What are you, out of breath?
Climbing up them steps.
Do me a favor, lower that a little bit.
I'm sorry.
All good.
Running around with the guys on the floor. You know, they out there getting ready for the game, so I was out there working them out, running up those steps. So,
give me a little bit of the pregame routine.
For me, or for just the
for what you do with these players, because I always see you working with the players before the game.
It's more of a mental thing because your preparation should be done coming into the game. So it's more of a mental thing where we're just going over just some little details. We're talking about the game, talking about what it is that's supposed to be doing, talking about matchups, and then we get into some shooting, just some finishing around the basket, some free throws, just the little things I think we forget about in basketball.
Now, I'll tell you this because, and we'll get back to Temple in just a second. We're obviously here for the home opener tonight up against Wisconsin. I thought about you the other night when I was at the Wells Fargo Center because I know how desperately you want to see this basketball team start to win again, and they're starting to play well, and you're starting to see this process come to fruition. But those games at the Wells Fargo Center this year, always good energy back in South Philadelphia.
It's electric down there. I don't really get a chance to go down much, but just from watching it on television and just talking to everybody, just the excitement. And then it's just not here in Philadelphia. I think it's across the country. I think anytime that Philadelphia can put a good product out there, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, it's always a good thing on the national spotlight.
What are you seeing out of Ben and Joel?
Just guys that just know how to play basketball. I think, I don't want to say this in loosely, but I think Joel, if he could stay healthy and he could play for about 10, 12 years, I think he has the opportunity to be one of the best centers that ever played the game. I mean, he can score the ball with his back to the basket. He can face up. He can step out. He can shoot the three. He can make free throws. And he's an outstanding defender. And I think that's the one thing that I see him affecting this team the most is it looks like he takes pride in his defense, and it's really helped this team out tremendously.
They learned a valuable lesson the other night up against the Suns because they've been playing some real tremendous competition. You got the Cavs and the Warriors. You always get up for those games. But even Joel, who's always transparent with the media after the game, he said, hey, we got to learn. We got to go. You can't just show up and expect to win games, which I guess you'll learn that in really his first full season.
Yeah, it happens during the course of 82 games. You're going to have some letdowns. But, I mean, just based on what I see, those guys are well coached. They play hard every possession, and they defend, and they can score the ball. They can really shoot the ball, I think, which complements Ben really well because he's a guy that's going to be able to get in the paint pretty much anytime he wants. And then when you got those shooters out there spacing and you got Joel rolling to the basket, they're going to be difficult. They're going to be tough to handle moving forward. And I think, we talk about the process here a lot. I think that's part of the process as well, just understanding now that you're not an unknown anymore. You're a known. The rest of the teams around the country look at you as being a formidable opponent. So now you got to just bring it every night, and I think that's something that they'll grow into.
It's amazing with Ben because you just see him get the ball and he takes over a game, whether it's the assist numbers, rebounds, points. And this guy doesn't have a shot yet.
Yeah,
it's scary what it's going to be when he develops that shot.
Yeah, think about how scary. And I don't just watching him. I don't know if he'll ever develop it. But if you can't stop him from getting to the basket, the one thing I will say that he has to develop is his free throw shooting. It's not too many guys that can stop him from getting to the basket, especially with his size and his length. By the time he gets to the free throw line, if he take off from there, he's in the basket. And if somebody's coming over to help, you got the shooters or you got Joel rolling to the basket. So, this kid got a pretty good head on his shoulders in terms of the knowledge of the game of basketball, and it's exciting to watch. And I'm just looking forward to seeing these guys in the future and moving forward and what they will turn out to be.
I know how much guys that played here in Philadelphia love to continue to see the team have success. Allen's at every game now. They put him up on the big screen still. The whole place, they go nuts, obviously, and he's never going to shy away from that attention. He loves it still to this day. Have you talked to Allen about this group a little bit?
Yeah, we talk. I talked to Allen about him. I talked to Elton Brand, and those guys.
They like this group.
Yeah, they get a chance to be around these guys more. Sometimes it's good to see him on the inside. Sometimes it's good to see him practice. Sometimes it's good to see him outside of basketball. And from everything that I hear, the chemistry is phenomenal. The chemistry is phenomenal off the court. And you can obviously see the chemistry being good on the court. So, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys continue to play and continue to get better.
Aaron McKie here with us, Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920 The Jersey, back at the Leah Corrs Center on Temple University for the home opener tonight up against Wisconsin. Tell me about this Temple team. I got a chance to see you guys play a few times on television. Went to the game at Madison Square Garden, and you guys got off to some start this year.
Yeah, we're playing well in spots. I think we're running into some of that hangover after a big win. Not to sound arrogant or anything like that. But I thought we let some games go that we should have had.
That LaSalle game?
Yeah, LaSalle game, the George Washington game. They jumped out early on us, and we got back in that game. But and we're learning from that. I think we're a young team. Josh being a senior, he's our leader, and our guys are learning to be experienced. Our young guys, freshmen and sophomores, are learning to be those experienced guys in those big minute positions. So we got to get off to good starts. We're not a team that's good playing from behind. We got to get off to good starts, and I think that helps us a lot.
Your backcourt, I know you mentioned Josh, and we all know what Josh has meant to this university and has had to go through some ups and then also some downs. But this backcourt is just, you guys are stacked. And that's how you win in college basketball, is having a really deep backcourt.
Yeah. And I think the biggest issue that we're faced with, I think,
managing
Coach
the
Dunphy,
minutes.
Exactly. Coach Dunphy is faced
something
with.
I don't envy of you guys.
Yeah, it's just, everybody always sit around and play virtual GM and say, well, if I had this team, I'll do this. If I had this talent, I'll do that. And, coaches think different. They're like, well, how am I going to try to keep everybody happy with getting the minutes? And everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play heavy minutes. And our message to them is, while you're out on the court, you got to play hard. If you're not playing hard, then you're going to come over here and, sit next to us. But it's a good problem to have. We let a few get away from us early. And like I said, we got to get off to good starts to be a really effective team.
I'm very close with Seth Greenberg, and he's nonstop praising you guys for the backcourt. And a lot of coaches I talk to, a lot of high school coaches too, they love Quinn and Rose. Just how about his development? Because the start he's got off to is a very impressive one this year.
He's electric. I mean, he's fun to watch, and I think our team is fun to watch. A little bit different from some of the teams in the past. He's that X factor for us offensively. I think he has the ability to create his own shot. You can get him out on the open court. He can play above the rim. He's shooting the ball a lot better now from the three. So he's getting a lot of attention now, and rightfully so. He's an explosive offensive player, and I enjoy watching him play. I enjoy coaching him because he's a very coachable kid. He's only going to get better. We get on him about his defense, and we need him to be a high-level defender. If you're going to be a high-level offensive guy and to be a target on somebody else's game plan, then we need you to be able to defend, because that position that he plays, it's a lot of really good basketball players. As
a coach, how do you push a player like that who is a good player, but like you guys say, you want him to improve on defense? So how do you push him to make sure he reaches his potential?
He hears us all the time when we're telling him keep guys in front. And it's not lack of effort. I think with a lot of these guys that come into college now, if you look at the AAU circuit, it's not many of those guys out there playing defense. So we stress that. We stress the importance of playing defense because of, the top teams in the country or the national title teams. Those are the ones that can play defense and play offense. So if we want to be really good, we got to make sure we're doing it on the defensive end.
Talking to Aaron McKie, the team you play tonight, Wisconsin, they have a team, have some wins, have some losses, have had their ups and downs. It's what happens when you have to replace some of the guys that they lost on a Sweet 16 team last year. When you watch Wisconsin on tape, what stands out to you? I know Hap is definitely the guy that you say, okay, you got to guard him tonight.
Yeah. He makes the ball roll for those guys. I think he does so many things on the court on both ends of the floor. Offensively, he's a nightmare. Really good down there on the block with his back to the basket. Outstanding footwork. Can finish with either hand, right hand, left hand, runs the floor well. He can can make plays for himself by picking and popping and facing up. And defensively, he does a great job of rim protecting and helping those guys. But defensively, as a team, they're really good. And to be really good on the perimeter and have a guy like Hap on the back line protecting you as well, it could be troubling for us.
Now, looking at your front court, you have Obi. He comes back. I know that was a bit of a process to decide if he's going to come back or not. Damian Moore has impressed me, especially in that game up against South Carolina. And you still have Ernest here. How about the players in your front court right now?
They're playing. They're giving us some solid minutes. We need those guys to get down there and rebound for us more. So as the year progresses, we'll see how they've worked really hard over the summer. All of those guys, Ernest, Damian, and obviously Obi. Obi is a little bit different than those guys because he's not, should I say, a back to the basket guy. He's more of a pick and pop. He's effective in other ways. But the way you saw Damian play against South Carolina is how we need him to play and earn the play. Just be garbage men around the basket, guard your position, rebound the ball for us, and that's how those guys can be really effective for us. But we have to help them out.
Wrapping up with Aaron McKie right now, Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920, the Jersey at the Leah Corrs Center. Now, you've been here, you returned here since 2014. You came back after the run with the Sixers. Just when you look at how you've improved as a coach, how do you think you've improved from when you got here back in 2014 to now as you get ready in this 2017 season?
Wow. College is so different than professional basketball. I mean, we're sitting here, we're talking about the actual game of basketball. But in college sports, there's so much more to it, where you got to make sure guys are getting to class. You got to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Practice preparation, game preparation, scouting, and then you got recruiting. So it's nonstop. And, as a coach, as a father, as a husband, you got to find that balancing act. And I struggled with that early on, but I don't know if I'll ever get my legs under me in terms of balancing, because the more you give to one, the more you take from the other. So I try to find that gap in between somewhere where I try to keep everybody happy and doing my job at the same time, because I do feel we're moving in the right direction and we're doing a lot of really great things here, as always. So it's fun, but I'm a busybody and I enjoy it. I enjoy being around the game of basketball. And I'm home here at Temple University.
This is a program that does it the right way, and that's been a big topic of conversation with the whole FBI thing that went on here with recruiting in the NCAA. And you talk about the changes in college basketball now with the one-and-dones. I know that doesn't happen here, but with the recruiting stuff, when you see some of that stuff transpired, like what happened with the other assistant coaches, how do you react about that being around the college game for so long?
It's the boss in his way, Coach Dumpf. He preaches it every day, do it the right way, be a good person, just all of those things are so important. And me coming into college, I had no idea of how things work. And he never really sat me down and said, hey, Aaron, this is how you have to do this. This is how you have to do that. I just kind of watched him, how he worked and the time that he puts in and how he just tried to give his time to just about everybody. He'll come up here and do an interview. He probably had a speaking engagement right after we had shoot around and all of those different things. He's a man of the people, and he's always preaching to us, do things the right way, and rightfully so. So when all of this stuff started to unfold, I had an aha moment, and it was like, now I'm understanding Coach Dunphy a whole lot better, so he's a guy that's going to sleep good at night while this investigation is going on, and there are going to be some guys that's going to be up all night. So I really enjoy being around him and coaching with him and just picking his brain on a lot of things. And that's one thing that I could say, while this investigation is going on, we'll be able to sleep good at night.
Now on the way out with Aaron McKie, a big 5 game earlier this year up against LaSalle. Didn't go the way that you guys wanted. I know you guys are focused on tonight, but you got St. Joe's and Villanova right around the corner. Let me ask you this, as someone that has played in these Big 5 games, what is it like as an assistant coach to go through these Big 5 games?
It's always fun, and I think we try to gauge the players on how much do it mean to them. I don't think it means as much to the players in this current generation as it meant to myself and guys that came before and after me. And we try to explain to them how important it is, for bragging rights. When I was playing, and we had the Summer League and the Sunny Hill League, and you would see those same guys, and you had the bragging rights throughout the summer. and those guys don't get that opportunity to be around one another as much. But they do get the chance to play some pickup ball with some of the guys from Penn and Drexel and LaSalle and St. Joe's. They see them from time to time, and then I guess that's when they get a chance to kind of needle each other with that.
Describe me Coach Chaney before a Big 5 game.
Quiet, reserved. Right now he'll be sitting up in the corner somewhere just kind of watching and taking it all in. And, you know, for him, every game was the same. Whether it's a Big 5 game or you're playing against an ACC team, everything was the same. He wanted the same energy and effort going out there on that court.
Now, I'll end you on this. They got to get you back to the Wells Fargo Center. They got to get you to ring that bell. You know, hey, we all love Kevin Nagandi as Temple guys, but if he's ringing the bell, we got to get Aaron McKie to ring the bell before the game, right?
Thanks, man. Yep.
How's the relationship with the Sixers these days?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Again, I don't really get a chance to go down much because I'm spending
so busy
most
here.
of my time here, and then I got kids at home that play sports, and I got to run them around and give them my time as well. So I really don't have much time to be hanging out down there, with the Sixers and ringing the bell. But, I watch those guys. I communicate with those guys. So, I'm still a Sixer.
Well, great to see you.
Thank you.
Let's get this team to kick some ass today. I want to see a win here on the home opener, all right?
There we go. Me too.
Great to see you.
Thanks for
Aaron
having me,
McKie
Zach.
with us. Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports, 920 The Jersey. We'll take a break, and we'll be back right after this.